In today's video, I'm speaking about the pros and cons of living at home at 30 or moving back home at 30. It doesn't even have to be 30, but like for adults living at home with their parents. It might be different for you, but if you relate to any of these, let me know. If you think I've missed out on anything, let me know as well. I've got my list here and on my phone. Most of it is on my phone, by the way. I was making my list yesterday and then I went on ChatGPT and posed the same questions. They gave me some answers as well. So I'm also going to use some of those answers and I am going to say whether or not I can relate to them, or let me know if you relate to them. So we're going to start off with the pros. And the first pro is, which everyone knows, you get to save a chunk of your income. For me, I can relate to that as well. Yes, I did a video of the expenses that comes with living alone and renting. If you haven't watched that, I suggest that you watch that. If you're someone that is planning to move out as well, that video will be perfect for you because the cost of living in the UK is mad. So go and check out that video because I list all the bills that are associated with renting alone and what you should look forward to while renting alone. Get to save at least half of your income, which is quite good. When I was living alone, I have to pay a lot of bills. As it relates to rent, I do contribute to the rent and groceries as well because some things that I want to buy, they don't buy. So I contribute to that. Even though I do all that, I still get to save and invest. If you're someone that wants to start a business as well, you can invest money in that business because you don't have to be spending it on rent. What I'm paying, I'm okay with. The next one is emotional support. Even though I'm not someone that open up to people a lot, I can say that there's always someone here. My little sister is here as well. She's always coming into my room. Sometimes I feel stressed. I can just play with her or talk to her about silly things. She will tell me what's going on with her at school, and that as well. I get to be a part of her secondary school experience. You know, she has someone to talk to and I can get to give her advice about school and if someone is bullying her, XYZ. So emotional support on both ends. It's less pressure. When I say less pressure, it's like cooking, cleaning, etc. Sometimes I'll be home. I work from home, by the way. So sometimes I'll be home. I can't be bothered to cook, but I know that my dad is going to cook or my mom is going to cook. Or when I'm home, and it's vice versa as well. We help each other out. So when I work from home, sometimes I'll cook to ensure that when they come in, they have something to eat. When I don't feel like cooking, my dad is down there whipping up something, or my mom is there. On Saturdays and Sundays, my mom will cook her soup and her Sunday dinner, which I always look forward to. Those are the perks, because sometimes you live alone and you just can't be bothered to cook and you eat maybe ramen noodles, something that's not healthy. But I can say I get a meal. The cleaning as well, I don't have to clean the entire house. I clean the bathroom, my room, the corridor or something. My mom clean the living room, her room. She likes the living room to be clean a certain way, so that's her job. But I'll clean the bathroom, even though sometimes I can't be bothered or I'll not do it. But at the end of the day, I know I get it done. Everything is not on you. Everyone do their part. But as I'm making content, the next one is more creative energy because I live at home and I don't have to worry about most of the homely thing. I get time to focus on recording content or focus on my small business without thinking about household duties, bills, focus on creating content, editing, building my business because I am not worrying about doing all the chores in the house. ChatGPT didn't mention this pro, but this one I want to mention is that I get to spend time with my parents. They're getting older. Sometimes I'll just sit back and look at them and be like, they are getting older. I want to have much time with them as possible, even though I oddly go in the living room, to be honest. I'm always in my room most of the time, but to just have them here with me. I think I'm very blessed and grateful in that department, that I can be around them and that they're here whenever I need them. I think that's in my number one. I'm going to move the financial stability and put this one up to my number one, because having that quality time with my parents, knowing that they're here, growing with them, but sometimes they can be annoying, and I'm going to get that. The cons are coming. Like shared resources as well, because I'm building a business. My mom as well, she have her creative side to her. She's and she also want to build a business, so she have her cricket, everything that needed to build a business, so we can share. I am not someone that wants to share anyways. I rather buy my own thing and use it, so if something happened to it, I don't feel bad or guilty. So my mom have a embroidery machine, and I bought it from her, even though she didn't want me to buy it, but I'm like, I rather to buy it, so I'm the owner. But with that, she has everything that I need to start my business, and she did say, you can borrow this when you need it, but it's just me, don't want to borrow, I just want to buy. For example, I don't have to buy kettle, furnitures, etc., all those things. So shared resources, only buy things that I need for my room or my business, but everything is already provided, which means you save money on that again. And there's a con to that. I'm going to mention it. Yes, I get to spend more time with my parents and watch my sister go through secondary school and watch her personality change. To sum all that up is building stronger family bonds. GPT says lower pressure to rush life decision. And this is true. This is so true, because I'm just at the stage of where I'm trying to figure things out. And because I don't have that financial burden on my shoulder, I can think about what I want to do, more flexible with money. I'm not saying that I really have money like that, but I have the freedom to try new hobbies. Whether I want to change my career path, it is more easier for me to do it because I'm living at home and I'm not living alone. Try new things, hobbies, interests. So just lower pressure. I don't have to rush into anything. In my subconscious, I have my family here. I'm stable where I'm at. So that's it for the pros. Let me know if you guys agree. If I've missed out anything that you think should be included in the pros, comment below. So let's get to the cons. Okay, so one of the cons that ChatGPT says is feeling behind. I don't really relate to this one, because I'm someone that's always followed my own path. When I'm going to school, like people in my year, yes, they're having kids, they're getting married, but that wasn't something that was a priority to me. So I don't feel behind in those departments. Some people would beg to differ. Some people would say the opposite. That's why they feel left behind. I would love to be living on my own. If I have the resources, I would choose to live alone, because I love my own space. I want to decorate my own place. Also, one of the disadvantages that living at home, it might stunt your growth and your creativity as well, where you're not in control of anything and the decision making isn't on you. So in that sense, I'd agree. On about feeling left behind, it's really about comparing yourself to your peers, which I don't do that. Doesn't really affect me, because even till this day, I don't even know if I want to get married or have kids. So this doesn't affect me. Only thing, my wish is to be able to rent a flat and live comfortably in that flat without have to thinking about bills being too high. So the next one is limited privacy. Yep. Limited privacy. Filming, creating, or having quiet space can be tricky when you are sharing the house. Yes, so that is true. I relate to that one, because whenever it's time to film, I'll have to go downstairs and say, Mom and Dad, I'm filming now, please can you keep it low? My sister as well, she'll be on the phone with her friends, some loud laughing. I'll have to say, I'm filming, give me 30 minutes and then you can resume with the loudness. So yeah, The one that they said that it's loss of independence. Sharing space with parents can make it hard to have alone time and house guests. When I lived alone, I didn't really have anyone over, so this doesn't affect me at all. I'm not someone to invite people to my space, so this didn't really affect me really having house guests. Social stigma. Some people will judge adults who live with their parents, which can affect your confidence or social interactions. Yes, you will get judged. Oh, you're living alone at 30. Yeah, you do get judged. You do get that remarks, those slight remarks, but I don't let those affect me because they're projecting to me. To me, they're projecting, and to me, I know what I want and I know why I'm really here. To live at home, you have to have a end goal, and no one understands that but you. If you're living at home and not saving, that's gonna be affecting you in the long run. If you're moving back home, you should definitely have a goal. Why are you moving back home? What's the goal? And whether or not you want to move out, what's that timeline that you're going to give yourself to move out? I'm trying to give myself 5 years. I know that people's going to be like, 5 years? I am not rushing for anything. There's nothing out there for me to rush to. That is why I moved out when I was 29 to see what it's like living alone. And I got that experience. Now I can stay at home, save, and make little decisions that will contribute to my future. Don't let anyone rush you to do anything that you don't want. When I was moving out, they didn't want me to move out either, but I had to say, this is for me. This was one of the cons that also made me moved out in the first place, but now we've been working on it and it's not bothering me anymore. It was the nagging. There was a lot of nagging, a lot of shouting, a lot of, I'm not ready to do this, but to them, I have to do it now when they want me to do it. I wasn't, there was some clashes going on. The clashes didn't result in me disrespecting my parents because that's something that I'll never do. I rather stay quiet, let them say what they're saying, and then just keep myself to myself, reserve, distant. Until I'm ready to speak, I'll speak. I'm not going to disrespect my parents in any ways. They can say whatever they want, but for me, I am gonna take a step back, take time to myself, and whenever I feel to speak, I'll speak. So that there was a lot of clash. Sometimes I just want to do things in my own time, and that was a problem, doing things in your own time. So that would result in they thinking that you're lazy, and I don't like that word, calling me lazy. I just don't want to do it now. I'm not ready. I'm not in the mood. So that was a conflict, and we've spoken about it, and I like to think that we came to an agreement and now everything is good. This is one of the things that people talk about. They're like, living at home at what cost? Living at home would cost your mental health. So that's the con. They rather pay rent than living at home and go insane. So that's a con. But yeah, that was happening. When things like this happen, you just have to have a respectful discussion. Everyone knows where you stand. Maybe have chores as well. I know that we don't want to be, because we're like, oh, we're adult now, they can't speak to us anyways. I think if we have some rules, some ground rules, what I'm meant to do, and then I'm like, okay, I'm not a morning person, so things like this, I want to do them in the evening or later, and then we can come to an agreement. I think it's just communication sometimes, and we keep things inside and it just overloads and affect us and our mental health, etc. So that is something that people are like, I'd rather pay rent rather than staying at home, because the shouting, the talking down to, you feel like a kid, etc. But I think it's all about communication and setting rules. As adults, we don't want to follow any rules. We want to be our own person. So that's when, if you don't want to follow rules, you just have to leave. And that's one of the reasons why I just had to leave, to have my own space, being the decision maker. I have videos on this as well, so go and check out my channel and you see those videos. I have some people projecting their timeline on you, but for you, you know that this is your time to rebuild, and you're being strategic about your time and your plans for the future. So people are going to be like, you're living at home, you're meant to be out there experiencing life, etc., but not knowing that if you're a person that want to travel, etc., you can do it, because you can stay home, save that money, travel if you want. The other one is relationship awkwardness. It says dating or bringing someone over can feel uncomfortable or restricted. Me, this would never be an option for me. I'm not bringing anyone to my house. In my house where my parents is, no one's coming over. So this wasn't even a option for me. It can be a con for some people, most people, but for me, no, you're not coming over at all. It is awkward as well, trying to date and live alone, because I'm someone that is very reserved. I don't open up about that part of my life. So to date, yeah, it's feel like I'm sneaking around, to be honest. I don't like to speak to people on the phone, so that's a con. I can't be loud, FaceTime. I don't do that either, because I am at home. You don't want to hear people. Yeah. That's an give or take. The other thing is, you get less motivation to move out quickly. Yes, you can become very comfortable, because you're like, what's the point? Outside is ghetto anyways, everything is expensive, so you are gonna be complacent. You're gonna not have the urge to move out or rush to move out. Another con is the space. You are in your childhood bedroom and it's so small. Like for me, I work from home. My desk is in my room. I have a small business as well. All the equipment is in my room. So that was also one of the reasons why I moved out, because I need space for my small business. That's also one of the factors why when I move out, I would want to rent a 2-bedroom instead of a 1-bedroom. This can also be a pro, because you cut down on what you buy and only buy things that you really need. Sometimes your family home aesthetic doesn't fit your aesthetic. If you're someone like me that trying to create content or vlog, you've got different taste in decor and home stuff. I love to decorate, to be honest. So that's why I'm glad that I have the freedom to turn my room how I want to do it, put whatever I want on the wall. I did all that decor. When you have your own space, you can do whatever you want. You can decorate your living room, your kitchen, your bedroom, your bathroom. But when you're at home, everything just has to stay how it is, because it's not yours. And I'm not even gonna let that bother me anyway. But it's not a deal breaker, because that right now is not priority. I make my room good enough so I can record my videos like this, a very simple background. I still go on Pinterest and I daydream about how my apartment is gonna look when I finally move out. I think people who judge people that live at home is those that don't have the luxury of moving back home. And that's why I'm very grateful that I have the opportunity to move back home. I'm very grateful that I get to spend more time with my parents, even though they can be a pain sometimes. And I think that can also be the downfall. It can either make or break your relationship with your parents. It just depends on your parents, to be honest, or the culture that you grew up in. Because there's some strict parents out there and they don't know how to draw the line between you as when you're a child and now that you're an adult. They want to impose curfew on you even though you're an adult. However, sometimes we just need to remember that this is their house, and if it was you as well, you won't want anyone to walk in your house at certain time. You have to be thoughtful in that way and put yourself in their shoes. But I think they just need to be more understanding. Just have it in the back of your mind that this is only temporary. You don't have to take it to heart, even though I do sometimes, but I'm working on that. And right now I'm at a good place, because when it's payday and I notice that all my money is not going to bills, I really step back and think like, this is what I want. Even every other day, I think of moving out. Every other day, you're going to have that thought, oh, I'm going to move out. I still look at viewings, at what's out there, the market, the prices and stuff like that. But when I move out, I want to move out to somewhere that I'm comfortable. Don't want to move out and have to think about constraints of renting. If I didn't move out when I did to live alone, I would be singing a different tune. I wouldn't be this optimistic. That's why I'm saying, if you're someone that have never moved out of your parents' house, it's going to be more hard for you to stay at home. That's why I do suggest that people do move out for at least once in their lifetime and live alone at least once in your lifetime. Sometimes we need a break to go out, see what's out there, and then you can make up your mind that this is not for me. And that's what I did. I got the experience. Now I don't have to have that thought linger in my mind saying, oh, I want to move out. Now I know what living alone is like. I am at the let them stage in my life. If anyone wants to think anything, let them think anything. I am not going to try to change your mind. At this point in my life, I'm not trying to impress anyone. I'm going at my own pace. This is my journey, and I'm taking my time to figure out what I want. And whilst I do that, I'm still gonna live in the moment. I'm not just going to pause my life and wait until I move out to live. I know I missed out most of the things. I'm gonna end it here. Let me know what you think. I want to thank you guys so much for watching this video. And as always, I'll see you on the next one. Bye.